Good evening and welcome to the Hometown News TV. I'm John Young.
And I'm Lori Young. And in this week's Hometown News, we have Harvey McKay, Let It Go. Tom Keene, The Good Old Days. His article this week is on shoes. Dave says, dealing with student loans and dealing with credit card collectors. For this week's upcoming events, Taking Charge of Your Finances workshop will be held Thursday, March 8th from 9:30 to 3:30 p.m. at Charlie's Cafe in Freeport. This is a free of charge event, so give Jennifer a call to register. Holdingford Firefighters Relief Association breakfast will be held Sunday, March 11th from 8:30 to 12:30 p.m. at the Holdingford City Center. And now for this week's obituaries. Leo A. Ripplinger, age 80 of Shoreview, died Saturday, February 24th. Services were held Thursday, March 1st at the Church of St. Timothy. Patricia J. Pat Petermeyer, age 85 of Melrose, died Monday, February 26th. Services will be held at 11 a.m. Saturday, March 3rd at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Freeport. Brian Jean Kester, age 54 of Little Falls, died Monday, February 26th. Services will be held on Saturday, March 3rd at 11 a.m. at St. Peter's Lutheran Church in Swanville. And you can view the full obituary write-ups in this week's Hometown News. For this week's photos, our front page photo is from the Swanville Sobieski Lions Club's fishing contest, showing some of the early fish on the board shortly after the contest started. Photo by John Young. Our Minnesota Through the Lens photo is of a small gal staying out of the wind at the fishing contest. Mike Mahar of Bertram was awarded the Jim Bilkey Sportsman Award for dedication to promoting the sport of snowmobiling. Ladies of neighboring parishes came to help quilt St. Francis of Assisi Parish bazaar quilts. Swanville School's kindergartners, juniors, and seniors were enjoying the fresh snow last Friday, February 23rd. Most schools in the area were 2 hours late due to the snow. Swanville High School January Athletes of the Month are Sierra Barkowitz for girls basketball, Simon Bryce for wrestling, and Austin Lemke for boys basketball. Upsala area schools held their district spelling bee last Friday. 6th grader Alyssa Young won the district contest. Upsala Senior High Knowledge Bowl teams have competed their regular season of competition in Region 5. The sophomore team of Low Expectations will be advancing to the region meet on March 5th. Upsala Senior High Knowledge Bowl team Low Expectations recently competed in the Prairie Conference meet on February 12th, and they placed third. Here are some of the Swanville Sobieski fishing contest photos. For this week's birth announcements, Lyric Rosalind Knox was born to Hannah Gruber and Lewis Knox of Blaine on Saturday, October 14th. Sage Kateri Haddon was born to Sam and Natasha Gruber Haddon on Tuesday, October 17th. Logan Henry Tyson was born to Joshua Tyson and Brenna Lannon of Albany on Thursday, February 15th. There were some thefts going on in the local area in Bertram, Freeport, and Bolus. In Freeport, there were 2 reports. One was several Rigid brand stackable toolboxes and a storage cart were taken, and DeWalt drills, DeWalt radio, and a power converter were stolen from a truck. If anyone has any information on these robberies, please contact the Stearns County Sheriff's Office. A Bertram resident had some hunting and fishing items stolen, along with a Mini 14 rifle. In Bolus, Joshua Johansson from Bolus and a 13-year-old juvenile from Holdingford were caught with several thefts within the city of Bolus. So this last Saturday was the Swanville Sobieski Lions fishing contest, and the weather was a little bit different this Saturday versus last Saturday on the Race on Trace.
That's for sure. First off, we had about a foot more snow on the ice than they did the week before, which caused some problems and it made it a little bit nicer in some ways. First off, you didn't slip and fall on your butt, which was kind of nice. If you had a bare spot, the week before, it would have been really slick. But with that extra snow, if you weren't on a trail in which they plowed, there were some people who came out there with two-wheel drive vehicles. They were getting stuck because they were hanging up on 10, 12 inches of snow that's on top of the ice. So you had people fishing, you had this crew going on, and then you had people over here pushing stuck vehicles out to try to get them off the ice. I was talking to Tom Keene this afternoon about that, and he was saying that the people that were out on the ice, that towards the end when they were trying to get off the ice, it had gotten just melted a little bit. It was a little more slick, and they had a dickens of a time getting some of those vehicles off the ice at the end of the contest. So it was definitely a different year when it came to the amount of snow, because we haven't had snow like that in a long time.
And from what I've seen of the photo, especially with that little gal that was hunkered behind the sled and the heater going, obviously the wind was a little chilly out there too.
Yeah, there was a northeast wind coming in, and it was interesting. They had all the vehicles parked. Typically, they're parked either off on shore because of not enough ice in like a year or two ago, or they've been all on the more the western side of the lake. This year, they were able to bring the vehicles all the way around, so they had this beautiful wall of vehicles on the south side of the fishermen, and they had this beautiful wall of vehicles on the west side. Well, it was a northeast wind, so it was coming over the cabins, and it was pretty chilly coming across the ice. Again, talking to Tom today, he said that they sold a record amount of food at this year's event. And it's like, well, yeah, if you watch my walk-around video, which is out on our Facebook page, out at the facebook.com/hometown news, I mentioned as you're walking past, you can smell, and whatever they were cooking smelled really, really good. So I was like, well, of course, Tom, the smell was lofting over the fishermen. So they're going to go and say, ooh, we got to go get some of that. So it was a good day overall, I think.
And it looked like the fishing was actually going pretty well from seeing the board with the fish going up right away, and we had a picture shared of a big northern that obviously was way too big to even put up on the board, so they took a quick picture here and got the picture, and then they had to release it.
Yeah, that's the negative part about doing a contest on a lake that has a slot limit. If it's over, I don't know, I think it's 24 inches the slot limit, so if it's over 24 inches, which this northern definitely was, it was something that they had to return. But yeah, I've heard that there were just a lot of fish caught because we had a weather change going on Saturday, and that weather change, of course, meant that at some point in time the fish are going to be moving. When I was there early, because we had other things going on, there was some fish and such that were being caught, but not a ton. But from the sounds of it, is shortly after I left, and once they stopped drilling holes, because they had such a record turnout, they were continually drilling holes. Even while I was there, they were doing the holes. Once things settled down there, then I think the fish moved in and everyone had a pretty good time.
As long as you were able to tolerate the clothing that you needed to stay warm and such, it should have been a good time.
Or you had a little shelter like that little gal did.
Although it looks like she has gloves or something up by that heater. So I don't know, because she doesn't have gloves on. So I wonder if her gloves got wet from the snow. And it looks like they were up there kind of warming up. So she kind of needed the windbreak and everything to kind of keep herself warm.
Yeah, there's a few folks who were trying to keep themselves out of the wind. And then, of course, there's some fish houses out there. One particular one had their generator all hooked up and they had their heat system all going, and goodness, they probably weren't even aware that there was a fishing contest. They had everything so well set in their fish house.
Probably watching TV and
precisely, they wouldn't even know. It's like, what's that noise outside? Oh, look there's people, lots and lots of people.
This morning we had a little bit of fog, and I know it was kind of patchy because it wasn't everywhere, but our area here, at least on the north end of Birch Lake, we had a nice little layer of fog here this morning, which made for some really pretty frost. And I have a few photos to share with you with those.
And then tonight it's going to be an interesting night that we're going to have a full moon tonight. And with this snowpack, you get this kind of a weird kind of bluish glow to the world. So it's going to be kind of a neat night. If you get a chance before you guys call it a night, go outside and just kind of look around, because it looks like it's going to be a clear night. So hopefully the moon and everything will make it a really beautiful evening outside.
We've been pretty fortunate because it seems like the last 2 weeks we've had really nice weather. We've had some snow and things, but temperature wise and the wind hasn't been up as what it has been, obviously except for Saturday, but otherwise it's been really beautiful to go out and kind of take in the snow and the winter sports that we haven't been able to do all winter because of the frigid weather and the lack of snow.
So you're saying that you're starting to like Minnesota winter.
This is my kind of winter, guys. I like the 30 degrees, hearing stuff melt, although it kind of melted a little too soon. So I'm hoping, they're talking rain on Sunday, so I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen, that we get a nice layer of snow yet again before.
You're not ready to pack the snowmobile away for the season?
Unfortunately I did, though, because this morning after going out and taking photos and hearing by 9:30 the water was running off the roof, and I thought, oh, I better go put that away, because if we get rain, and unfortunately the grass is starting to show in some of the spots where we've had our trails, and it's not quite as probably safe anymore with pulling the kids around, and so I did put it away. So hopefully, but we can always pull it out. We need snow, and I'll pull it back up. I would like to remind everyone that we're also in the midst of Lent season. So if you're looking for a great place to go out to eat, check out our hometown news. We've got a lot of great advertisers that have great food and relatively inexpensive, and
it's always a neat time of year because you can go and have things that you don't have throughout the year. So it's a nice time to go out and try different establishments, because they are serving kind of a special menu at this time of the year.
They do. And actually, for those of us who usually cook at home, we should really give up cooking for Lent. Then we can go out to eat all the time. At least on Fridays.
I think I do a lot of the cooking.
No, so our kids do too, though. They come home from school and they start cooking. Well, that concludes tonight's show. I'm Lori Young with the Hometown News TV.
And I'm John Young from the Hometown News TV.
Good night.
Good night.